everyone, thanks for checking out our Thursday show. I like to empty the notebook that I filled while watching film in Week 7. We'll get to a whole bunch of players. First, I want to talk about Adrian Peterson, 33 years old, and doing this for Washington. I didn't see it coming, but I have to say, from the very beginning on the podcast, since I've been watching Peterson's film, yeah, he's been pretty good. Let's take a look at this Cowboys game from Sunday. I want to start you with this run, not because it's the flashiest or the best, or not even because he cuts it back the other way. AP sort of is what he is at this point, and he's not what you'd call quick as lightning. He basically stops in the backfield, and it takes a tanker truck to turn him back around going the other way. But for me, it's what happens after he comes back around, the slide step he takes at his current version of full speed to take him further outside, and then there is juice to accelerate up out of that cut and turn it upfield for another 5 yards. It's not old AP, but it's better than he's looked in a while. If you like to play the games like I like to play the games, I recommend the online sportsbook that I use, betdsi.com. I'm about to give my Week 8 picks against the spread here a little bit later in the show, and BetDSI is where I'll be playing them. I've been playing there for about 3 years. I say this on this show a lot, but basically, you don't have to think about it, and that's what you want. They've got good customer service, and you don't have to think about it. You just place your bet, and then you watch the game. If you go to betdsi.com right now and sign up using the promo code HarrisTube, they will match your deposit up to $500, and we thank BetDSI for sponsoring us all week on the Harris Football YouTube show. Back at it with Peterson, and listen, he's not 2,000-yard Adrian Peterson. It's a little cumbersome when he decides to change direction, but once that change of direction is made, does he get around this defender? Does he break the ankle tackle and nearly score? He sure does. There used to be this idea in Minnesota, oh no, you can't use Adrian Peterson out of shotgun. Well, Washington is doing it a ton. It's Alex Smith, they have to, and it's working. But notice on this play, what's the vision, sort of the chess moves that he can see ahead. He has an evasive plan in mind, kind of for every occasion, and he isn't his former self, so he can't quite accelerate like a freight train like he used to. But I love the way he slashes back inside here, making 2 tacklers miss. Honestly, I can show you these all day. Watch him, again out of shotgun, press inside, take it outside, find a couple of linebackers out there, cut it back, accelerate ahead, cut again, take a couple hits, and spin out, fall forward. I'm not kidding. Adrian Peterson's tape is littered all year with these epic 9-yard runs. I'm surprised. And now remember, Peterson wasn't even signed until Darius Geis got hurt in the preseason. My skepticism about Peterson last year was warranted. He didn't do a lot. My skepticism about him this year when he did sign with Washington turned out not to be warranted, and he's my RB9 for this week against the Giants. It's not the worst matchup, it's not the best matchup, and there are some running backs on bye, but he's just been so rock solid. And if there's one thing that I feel pretty good about, it's that on the podcast, I did identify this pretty early on. Like, this guy looks different. It's been pretty terrific. I can't guarantee he stays healthy at age 33, but I'm along for the ride. All right, let's take a look at the picks against the spread for Week 8. Another winning week in Week 7. I mentioned BetDSI earlier. Fun place to play, profitable place to play for me so far this year. NFL has a way of catching up to us. We'll see. The idea here is that I set what I expect the lines to be, and then I look at the actual lines. You see 3 games here where I don't have a play because I guessed the line correctly, and everywhere else there's a pick. And the ones marked by asterisks, those will be my Super Contest picks for Week 8. Scary as it is to consider owning a stake in that horrible Bills offense, that's a pretty greasy line for a home team on Monday night. That says the Patriots are 20 points better than Buffalo at home. It's a lot of points. Buffalo's defense is pretty good. We'll see how that goes. In 2 pick'em games, I guess I like the home teams. Okay, and to wrap up the week, let's count down 5 more things that are in my notebook that I saw that I thought you'd enjoy. Some fantasy relevant, some just goofy. 5 through 1. Here we go. This one is for our friend Sharon Mitchell. If you listen to my podcast, which I hope you do, harrisfootball.com, you'll know that Mitch asked if we could show Mitch Trubisky's ridiculous, epic touchdown run that suddenly has people deciding maybe he's a fantasy option. But it's utterly hilarious that the stat watchers who don't actually watch football are now reading game logs and deciding Mitch Trubisky is good. I mean, he's been good numerically. He also loves to throw into crowds, loves it, can't get enough of it. He and Blake Bortles, pretty similar. How about this beaut? All day to throw, got my guy breaking open behind the defender, it's a touchdown, and I overthrow him by, is that 5 yards to be charitable? Maybe 10 yards? Or there's whatever the heck this is, a flutter ball behind his receiver where you can see the receiver's open to the inside. Did I mention flutter ball hitting the defender on the knee? Was this deflected? It was not deflected. If you choose to believe, like a lot of other people who don't actually watch the games, that Trubisky's playing well and is a likely bastion of fantasy goodness going forward, 2 words, Blake Bortles. And in the name of Mitch Trubisky, who here again nearly throws an interception to a covered receiver, and the DB probably could have returned it 100 yards for a touchdown, let's show you some defensive back drops from Week 7, shall we? They stuck out to me. As the old saying goes, there's a reason these guys play defense. At number 3, Saquon Barkley has been amazing. I could show you a million plays from Saquon Barkley. I mentioned this one on the podcast. We all know what crazy cutting ability looks like, and Barkley has that in spades. But this is what it looks like when a defender has you dead to rights, and you just accelerate toward the sidelines and then north-south, and the dude who was 2 feet away from you can't even lay a hand. If you want to know why I get jazzed about O.J. Howard, it's plays like this, downfield. He's gotten loose for a lot of intermediate catches. Actually, earlier in this game he had. And then the Buccaneers split him wide left, one-on-one against Jabril Peppers, 4-4-6 safety. And Howard runs just as fast and makes that kind of adjustment to the ball. That kid is going to be great. And at number 1, I just want to quickly review Alshon Jeffery's day against the Panthers. He has a tough matchup Sunday morning in London against the Jags, but that dude was a baller against Carolina. This was a 4th and 5. Really got to have it, and you got it. This one, he split wide left. And okay, well, he's not the quickest guy in the world. Those fakes, maybe a little lumbering, but James Bradbury sure bites, and that's because he's worried about Alshon sort of going past him and being the fastest slow receiver ever, and it winds up wide open for a touchdown. Another one on the sideline, he's split wide left again, and he hitches and goes. And the reason this stuff works is because defenders fear Jeffrey's moves, and they fear his body position. He gets interfered with here, still uncovers himself downfield, makes the adjustment and the catch. And as good a day as it was, could have been even better. This could have been the game-winning play. Jeffrey goes deep. I mean, he's got him. And basically, James Bradbury has to grab him at the end there, or this is a 70-yard touchdown instead of a 40-whatever yard interference. It is a tough matchup against the Jags, and that's probably what keeps Alshon outside my top 15, right? I have him just outside my top 20 receivers. I think you're using him. I think you're using him most weeks. He's the kind of player, and that's the kind of offense that will spread it around, and it can be a little ebb and flow. But man, I mean, I wasn't kidding. He really is the slowest deep threat in the league. He's got not great moves and certainly not great speed, but the savvy and the body position and the ability to adjust on the fly to a passed ball. He's an awfully good player. I think I'm going to use him most weeks, and we'll see how it goes in London. And that's it for this week, and we are very excited to bring you a full season's worth of everyday shows Monday through Thursday. Hope you'll subscribe. Come on back here on Monday. I'll have the waiver wire for Week 9, and we'll look at a bunch of Week 8 film.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.